kings and queens, welcome to Young Queens Chat. My name is Zola Nokwali, aka the real unicorn queen, aka Phaswana ye Pakistan. Welcome to another video. Before we get into the video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your comment down below, and make sure that you share this video. So this video is about things that people don't tell you in your 20s, or rather just things that are a bit tricky when you are in your 20s, right? So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I am 25 years old. First of all, let's start there. I have been experiencing 20s for 5 years now, and I'm turning 26 next year. And honestly, your 20s are very tricky, and I feel like our parents don't tell us this, and we sort of figure it out by ourselves that, you know what, your 20s are actually a very tricky year. Like, there's a lot of things that you have to maneuver, there's a lot of things that you need to figure out, there's a lot of things that you go through, that you experience. I mean, 20s are a hassle. You know, when you grow up, your parents always say, no, your teen years are the ones that are, you know, adolescents and what. No. Your 20s, sweetie, they are the trickiest thing that for me personally, my 20s are very tricky. Like, okay, there's some point where I'm like, I can't wait to be 30. Maybe life will be a bit difficult. So I do have my phone, my Mobi Cell, okay? And I'll be discussing a few things. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to your 20s is just figuring yourself out, who you are, what do you like just being very centered in who you are and knowing who you are and so on. Because I do feel that in our 20s, that's the phase where we try to figure out who are we, what do we like, what do we like doing, you know, where do we like going, what kind of people do we like, what kind of person am I, and so on. So finding out who you are yourself, first of all, is tricky because of so many influences around the world can influence the person that you become. I mean, not only your background, how you grew up, but things that you see on social media can influence the person that you are. Things that you see in your surroundings, your friends, can influence the person that you are, you know. So it's very important that within your 20s you sort of find yourself. I think it's the years of finding who you are, what do you like, what kind of person are you, what kind of person do you want to be, what kind of people do you want to be around you, you know. So that's the first thing that I think 20s are. The first tricky thing is just figuring out who you are and not losing yourself in the process, right? And then number two, trickiest thing to figure out in your 20s is your spirituality and religion. Yo guys, let me tell you how I struggled with that. When I was 21, 22, that's when I started being aware and very that's when I started being aware rather of religion and spirituality, because when I grew up, I followed what my parents believed in. You know, my parents are Christian, they go to church, and that's what I followed, and that's what I knew, you know. And when you follow what your parents believe in, okay, if your parents are traditional people, that's what you're going to follow. If your parents are spiritual people, that's what you're going to follow. If they are religious, that's what you're going to follow. But as you grow up and when you get deep in your 20s, and I mean like when you reach the age of 23, 24, 25, that's when you sort of pick what you really want, you know, what you want to believe in. Is it tradition? Is it a more spiritual route that you want to take, or is it a religious route that you want to take? It's one of the trickiest things, because sometimes our parents don't understand, you know, when you're like, you know what, I'm not Christian, you know. They're like, if you're not Christian, satanism. But that's not the case. There are so many religions that you can believe in, and there are so many spiritual religions as well that you can believe in, or you can decide to take a spiritual route, a more cultural or traditional route when it comes to what you believe in and what resonates with your spirit. I had to come to a decision where I realized that my spirit resonates, and you know, it's at peace when I take a spiritual route, you know, a more spiritual route, a more cultural, traditional route, ancestors, you know, I'm big on that, you know. And it kind of made a few people like uncomfortable in my life, and they were like, oh, you're not Christian, what does this mean? 1, 2, 3, and 4. I had to lose a few friends that because we didn't believe in the same religion or spiritual journey, and I had to lose those friends because I was constantly judged. And I was like, but then how is it affecting me and you? Because I'm not judging what you believe in. Whatever you believe in, as long as it brings you peace and happiness, then I'm fine. But I found myself being constantly judged about what I believed in, and I realized that these people are not here from my happiness, you know. It's just about what they believe in, and I just have to bow down to that. And at home they actually understood. I was really shocked because at home they are Christians, and obviously a bit traditional, but they did understand that, you know what, this is the route that you want to take and it makes you happy, and that's it. So I think spirituality and religion is very tricky in your 20s. You need to find something that resonates with you, that makes you at peace, that makes you really happy spiritually, that fulfills your spiritual space within your life, right? That's the number 2 trickiest thing when it comes to your 20s. And then the one that is the worst, guys, love. Oh my god, in your 20s love is tricky. Okay, yo, guys, Larato in your 20s is just one of the worst things that you can experience. I think in the 20s, there's a lot of heartbreaks. You experience a lot of heartbreaks. If you think being a teenager, you're going to experience a lot of heartbreaks. In your 20s, you're more mature, you know, when it comes to relationships and love. And sometimes you do take every relationship that you're in very seriously, or the current relationship that you're in very seriously. Now, we have to understand, the fact is that women mature quicker than men, okay? Men can be a 25-year-old, but that nigga still is not ready to be in a serious relationship. He still wants to play around. And I feel like that's why maybe girls date older guys, because they're more mature and so on. I don't know. Might be wrong, right? So love is very tricky in guys, I'm even getting heartburn talking about this thing. Love in your 20s is difficult. But I honestly think that within your 20s, especially early 20s, explore as much as you can, honestly. Like, I don't want to say don't take relationships seriously, but don't invest all of you in a relationship in your 20s, especially early 20s. Don't do that, because you're going to get your heart broken, and you're going to be a miserable Miguel, and you're gonna post, hey, love is what, boys are trash, what, hey, all those kind of stuff. I feel like when you're in your early 20s, relationships is something that you need to explore. You know, keep your doors open. Date more than being in relationships more. Do you get what I'm saying? Because dating and being in a relationship is two different things. I think you need to explore and date more. The one mistake that we do in our 20s, especially as women sometimes, is we get in committed relationships at such a young age, and we don't have the time to explore. We don't have the time, you know, to meet new people, to see what you actually really like. You know, you get to know a person a week, and then a week later you guys are dating and it's serious, and you know, love lives here and all of that. But does it really live there? Is love really there, or is it just a fantasy that is in your head? You know, so in your 20s, love is, guys, whoa, kids, love is like dodging bullets. When you're in your 20s, it's like you're in a war and everyone is shooting at you and you're trying to not die, you know. So the advice that I always give people that are younger, especially girls that I have conversations with, is that when you're in your 20s, don't invest everything in your relationship, or when you're dating someone. Don't do that, because possibilities are you might get hurt, and you don't want to be getting hurt at such a young age. So that is number 3 of the trickiest things in your 20s. And number 4 rather, is family. Guys, family in your 20s is the worst, especially when you reach the age of 25. Now you need to get a job. Now you need to move out the house. Now everyone is expecting you to send them e-wallets because you're old now. You need to get a job. I think our families just don't get it, that being 25 and older at this day and age is difficult. I mean, it's difficult to get a job. how are you expecting me to move out of the house? You know, I feel like when you're 25 and you're still living with your parents, you're very lucky. And if they're really understanding, like myself, I still live with my mom and my dad, and they're very understanding human beings. Gutio, it's really rough out there, but not everyone has the same not everyone is like, it has the same, what's the thing, what's that word, guys, but like not everyone guys, I'm a joke. But anyway, not everyone has what I have, rather, let me put it like that. Not everyone has parents that understand like my parents. Not everyone has parents that are like, no, you can stay home as long as you can. If you're 13, you're still here, it's still fine. Not everyone has that. Some parents will swear at you, will insult you, you'll feel like you're a piece of shit, literally, because they just don't get that it's difficult to get a job. There are people who graduate and still there is no job, you understand? So family is very tricky in your 20s because they're expecting you to have all these things, expecting you to have babies. Like at my home, my mom is looking at me like, girl, you're 25, where the baby at? You know, and I'm like, sis, you're playing me, because there's no babies coming from this girl anytime soon, you know. And I feel like that's another thing. Having babies, being in a stable relationship, you know, people expect that when you hit the age of 25 and older. You know, are you having a baby? I have a lot of people that ask me, when are you having a baby? You know, you're 25. And I'm like, sis, you better relax. I'm not having a baby anytime soon. You know, the bank needs to speak wonders before I have a baby. You know, I need to be able to take care of myself at least before I have a baby. So in your 20s, families can be, gosh, they can be a strain, and it's you fall in a place of depression, which is another thing that I feel like in our 20s we go through as young people, in our 20s and late 20s as well. And then another thing that is very tricky in your 20s is friends. Yo, guys, yeah, I've had my fair share of losing friends in my 20s, because of a lot of things. One is because of maybe communication, you know, I can understand, guys, we're all busy. You know, you need to understand that the world does not revolve around you. You understand? When you're younger, your friend is everything. Like, you talk every day because you go to the same school. You know, you talk every day because you live in the same place. You talk every day because Odula next door. But once you get older and in your 20s, because you're trying to figure your life out, you want to get that job, you want to go to school, you want to get out of your parents' house. So life is really busy. You don't have time to be having useless conversations on WhatsApp. You're trying to save data for important things. You know, some of us are Wi-Fi. So being a friend that does not understand that phase in your 20s is very difficult. For me personally, I don't want to have friends that want us to talk every single day. Girl, you ain't my boyfriend. I mean, like, even me and my boyfriend don't talk every minute of every single day. Like, have you ever had a friend where you don't answer their text like 10 minutes later and they're like, oh, you don't want to talk to me, why are you taking a long time to reply? I'm like, sis, I'm at work, I need to work, I have things that I need to do. You get what I'm saying? So friendships are very tricky. There's people who will betray you in your 20s. You lose friends because of communication, pride also, rumors as well. Your friend will hear from another person that you said this, and they'll be so quick to believe it without asking you. So losing friends in your 20s is a normal thing. It happens to everyone, I'm guessing. I'm left with, you know, one person that I trust with my heart. Like, I'm left with one friend, guys, that I trust with my entire heart, and that's my best friend. That's literally the only friend that I'm left with, that I can be like, that girl is my ride or die. And I have other friends and other people that I call my sisters, you know, in my circle, but my circle is really, really small. It's not big. I don't like big circles. And that's another thing in your 20s. Keep your circles.